we have Christianity? God was persuaded. Now I know that you're brilliant. Your mind's way out there. Who would persuade God? Glad you asked. Himself. God talks to himself all the time. Sure he does. Do you talk to yourself? Just like your father. Bible said God who counsels with himself. God gets ready to save the world, and the wisdom of God says, well, how are we going to get it done? And then the knowledge of God says, well, we'll do it this way. And then the love of God said, it ought to be done. And the power of God said, done. You're not hearing me yet. You're somebody that God is persuaded about. He's persuaded that you're an overcomer. He's persuaded that you're going to experience everything He's got on the agenda for you. What you need to do is get persuaded yourself. Stay with me just a minute. I said Christianity is the results of God being persuaded. He looked down time and said, I'm persuaded you're worth dying for. I know you're trash right now, but I'm persuaded I can make you treasure. I know you're dirt, but I really specialize in dust and dirt and stuff. I realize you ain't got nothing to offer, and I got everything to offer. I'm just persuaded that you're worth dying for. What is the incarnation? God persuaded on how to do it. You're not getting it. I'm so sorry. You're expanded too far, okay? Look, you know why Jesus went to Calvary? 2 reasons. First, he was persuaded that his dying would shed blood that was powerful enough to forgive the worst person. You ready? And then he was persuaded that death wasn't powerful enough to hold him. Destroy this temple, and in 3 days, I'm going to raise it back up. You know why we got a church? And I'm persuaded I'll build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. If God is persuaded, why don't you get persuaded? I'm sorry it wasn't more revelatory and moving than you expected, but it took a guy from his whole life to glory, and he walked through his life just saying, I am persuaded that neither life nor death, nor angels, nor principalities, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature can separate me. I'm not persuaded by the sermon. I'm not persuaded by what I feel. I am persuaded by what I know. And I know I'm loved by a love that will not let me go. You don't need to dial your prayer partner. You don't go on a 7,000-day fast. All you got to do is wake up one day and say, come hell or high water, I am persuaded God is for me. And if God is for me, it doesn't matter who or what is against me, because greater is He that is